I want to talk about tablature. Now, the idea of tablature has actually been around for centuries, but when I first started teaching guitar and literally teaching icons like Tom Morello, he was, we're both from the same area outside of Chicago, there was no tablature program, and I had started hearing about this thing called tab, and let me explain how important it is, and especially with guitar music. Up until tablature got popular, this was something I'd never even heard the name until I was literally in my late teens and going to college. And so, because what you used to have to do back in the day is they used to have books called the higher frets, where you would say, okay, I want you to play a C note. It could be on the second string, first fret, third string, fifth fret, fourth string, 10th fret, fifth string, 15th fret. So you see where I'm going. This C is this C, is this C, is this C, is that C. So where the heck do you play? So what they used to write is if you had, like, if you wrote that, you would write fifth position. Well, see, tablature changed the game. This is something I was absolutely blown away when I found out about it. It is probably the greatest way to write guitar music because not only does it give you the exact notes and the timing of the notes, but it tells you exactly what position to play. So in other words, if I was going to write music and I wrote like a middle C, it'd be ball one line below a staff. So C, and then you move up. I would have to write it in notation and then either tell you where I want you to play it, or you'd have to figure it out yourself. So what if it was some, but you didn't know where to play it? You're, well, let's say, shoot, there's not enough notes, or oh, I can't play it here. So you'd have to figure out and decipher for yourself where to play these lines. Tablature changed the game. Here's how tablature works. You basically see 6 lines. Now, it's a 6-string guitar, could be 7, could be 8, but then you add those extra lines. But for the sake of simplicity, and the guitar that I'm holding, which is one of my signature guitars from Sawtooth, it's beautiful and it's a very reasonably priced guitar for a beginning player. This is in the $200+ price range. It's fantastic. So here's what you see. If you pictured the neck of the guitar like I'm facing, you would see the first string, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You'd see a line, picture a normal sheet of paper, a line with 6, like that, going all the way across. Each line is a string. The top line is string 1, bottom line string 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you would write numbers on a particular string. So if you see a 5 on string 3, it means 5th fret, 3rd string. And it's the beauty of it is that you can write music literally like you would write standard notation, meaning, the legit notes. You can write the rhythm. You can write a time signature. You can write everything that you can write with normal notation, only it gives you the exact place the composer or the person who wrote out the tablature, and tab for short, wants you to play. It's brilliant. Now, I want to go back a little bit too, because music is divided by what we call measures. Measures can also be called bars, and I explained this in one of my early lessons, that when you divide music by measures, it's a very simple thing. Say you have 4 notes, you have like a beat, like, and you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That 1, 2, 3, 4 is one measure. We would call that 4/4 time. It looks like a fraction. That it's 4 beats on top, and the bottom note, the bottom 4 means it's a quarter note. Now, everything is mathematics in music. A quarter note means it's a quarter of a measure. How many quarters does it take to make $1? 4. How many quarters does it make to make one full unit? 4. So you have the top number is the amount of beats, the amount of counts in the measure. Those two words are interchangeable as well. The bottom number is the type of note that receives one count. So in 4/4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be a 4/4 measure. Now, if you wanted to play faster notes in there, you would see on every count maybe 2 notes. So those would mean eighth notes, but that isn't the time signature. Those are the notes in this measure. So let's say I wanted just to play 4 quarter notes in a 4/4 measure. I could write 4 notes. Now in tablature, there would be 4 numbers. Let's use C again, 3rd string, 5th fret. So on the 3rd string, you would see 4 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what if I wanted to double the speed of that? That is not the measure. The measure is 4/4. I'm playing more notes within that measure. So what's the next? What's double of 4? 8. What's double of 8? 16. What's double of 16? 32. What's double of 32? 64. So you can take this to the nth degree. So here's the next fastest duration from 4/4. You have quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you would see 4 5s on the 3rd string. What if I wanted to play twice as fast? Those are called eighth notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, what if I wanted to play even faster than that? 4, 8, 16. What does 16 mean? There's 16 notes in a 4 count bar. See, when you go 1, 2, then the next part would be 16, so there would be 4. 1, 2, it's always an even number unless you want to change that. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, what does this have to do with tablature? This is all standard notation stuff, but tab works the same way. So instead of going, instead of doing anything like that, no matter what you write, you can have all those notes in one measure. It's just how fast that note is going to be considered. Quarter note, 1 count. Eighth note, 2 counts. 16th notes, 4. 30 seconds, 8. And so it goes faster and faster and faster and faster. But the beauty is with tablature, you can write these notes out as quarter notes or eighth notes, and it gives you, let's say just this alone. I would write 4, 5, 7, 5, 4 on the 3rd string, and then that's 7, 5, 4, 5. And you know exactly where I played it and what kind of notes I played. Tablature is amazing. When I found out about this, because I had always write things out in standard notation for my students, I saw this, I went, this rules, it rules, tab rules. And I started writing everything out in tab. It's become standard now. When I did my first instructional program in the 80s, called the Starlix video, which is available on Metal Method, there were no tab programs. It was popular. You had to hand write it. And because I studied notation, I was able to transcribe or write out my own booklet. I was the only artist that did it. Doesn't mean I'm the only one who could, but you know, people like Steve Vai could do that. But I had the knowledge and I had the manuscript technique to be able to write it out. But tablature is fantastic, and it really makes your guitar playing jump. You know, it sets the learning curve way up instead of like this. It just tells you instantly. If I want to write something like, and it tells you, start on that 12th fret, 5th string, play it this way, and everything is diagrammed out. It tells you how to play it exactly the way the composer or the person that transcribed the music wants you to play it. Tab rules.